This episode's presented by Cosmic DG. We are going to talk about Cosmic DG in just a little bit, but we actually right now have a packed house. We've got a ton of people sitting behind me, as you can kind of see. And then we have someone sitting on our interview couch. Evan and Ben are here. Matt's here. This is episode 156. We're hanging out for the MVP Open this week. We're insanely excited for it. Ton of cool things happening in the disc golf world. Tournaments being kind of the biggest one. Matt, how you doing?
Good. And yeah, for our post-listening audience, you always hear this. You're like, I'm glad I don't watch live. It sounds like they have lots of problems. Well, sometimes just computers do that. Needed a good old restart it and shut it down, turn it back on. And
for some reason, the last couple of weeks have not been kind to us, which is so funny because it's the couple of weeks that I've actually been able to be in studio. And I brought all my bad karma with me. So anyways, but we have a ton to talk about.
Yes, we're doing a USDGC VIP giveaway tonight. 2 tickets, USDGC. It's coming up. That's the first week of October.
And are we talking like VIP level? Or are we talking like gold level?
VIP.
VIP level tickets. What we just did for the MVP Open, we are doing for the United States.
MVP was Insider Pass. VIP at USDGC. That's a lot of. Yeah, that's an acronym of acronyms.
Yeah.
So
the VIP of the USDGC.
VIP of you. Okay, so if you get that, I think it's valued around like $200. Okay, not $1,200 like we did with MVP. But we're gonna do that. It's gonna be some form of live call-in to win that. There's gonna be a quiz. If you'd like to win those tickets, you just stick around. Okay.
Just remember, if you guys have ever watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, it's gonna be nothing like that.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted to do, but did not spend any
episode.
time doing that. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to be Regis Philman. Just kidding. That's going to be Evan's job.
Ella Hansen's here. She just had a big win at the Disc Golf Pro Tour event. First ever for her. We'll be talking to her in a minute. Gannon, Cole, and I just heard, I think Ezra walked in. Ezra Robinson. We, of course, do have Evan. Can you go to Evan, Ben? And if
what's going on?
You can go full screen if you want, Ben. No.
Yeah. Ben and I are getting
that's the new thumbnail
on this part of the desk. So
I like how you guys have a green screen in the office from the green screen.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I mean, like, can we put another picture on that?
Yes, you can.
It's hilarious.
Okay, so everybody's here. The studio is super hot. Like, if someone looks at that thermostat, what does it say? 78, 80? What does it say up there behind you? Ezra, what does that thermostat say? I'm just curious because it's getting 79. The fan is pointing on the guests in the interview seat, so at least they get to have the fan.
So really quick, before we get into all the serious talk about disc golf, Matt, you've had 2 people staying at your house this past week, Cole Redall and
Uncle Matt.
Gannon Burr. So Matt is a father of 4 of his own boys and now has kind of adopted 2 this week. And I can just tell because all I see when I come down here is candy, just candy. Literally everyone is just eating candy.
That's just me.
We've got Jolly Ranchers, we've got the best gummy worms in the world, we've got Sour Patch behind me. I mean, shoot,
getting excited here. Also, this is all part of the intro. Depending when you listen to this, you may have already missed it, so go back and check, or if you're hearing this live or the next day, which a lot of our audience does, September 13, Wednesday evening, I believe it's 8:30 p.m. We are doing a special bonus episode that is bringing in former UFC fighter Justin Wren. This guy has a foundation, or I shouldn't say a foundation, organization, what is it, 501c3? It's a nonprofit called Fight for the Forgotten. I believe it has something to do with the Pygmy people in Africa. And we have the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Paul Macbeth, we know him. He has doing course installations around the world. These 2 are collaborating with their organizations, foundations, and they have a special announcement for a big collaboration here on our show, September 13th. This will be the only place you hear about it live with them. So that's really cool. Also, pre-order. If you're hearing this again, but you didn't click last time, for the disc golf pins, do it now, please. It's in our description for this podcast and YouTube, the details. Click on the link, pre-order, please. Show disc golf pins that our fans like the pins. Disc golf pins is doing special things for all players. They have special Halloween ones coming out. They have special ones coming for Ezra. Your brother's getting a special disc golf pin because he won the world championships. Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a big deal, but
I mean, why else would you want to win a world championship? I mean, so I can get a disc golf pin. But in all seriousness, disc golf pins are cool. It's a way to show support for your favorite players or things that have happened. And again, you're going to have special Halloween ones coming soon. You can go to discgolfpins.com. You could search for Nick and Matt on there and find the pre-order, or you can do it through our details. Please do that. I'm curious to check after tonight how many pre-orders are in. We're excited to be working with Disc Golf Pins.
Statmando have a pin, right?
No, we do not, but that would be pretty cool.
Gonna have to
And,
potentially. So I'm gonna put this all together. Look, you need a new bag, so go to discologydiscgolf.com and get yourself a new bag. We're gonna actually have a discount code coming very soon for it. So
Can you get someone there just to grab one of the bags off the couch, or two of the bags?
yeah, on the couch over there,
Behind
Ezra,
the curtain.
Behind the curtain, can you grab the
Two different
colorful-
versions.
Yeah, there's a blue and black one in a bag, and then a colorful one.
Wow. Intern
Please,
Ben,
please.
you've been promoted. They're now the interns.
Yeah, they're now the interns.
Ben, your face is so happy.
Best day of my life.
So we're gonna do a quick little ad for them, but let me take this bag off.
As in, like, for our listening audience, he's showing a new bag that
So,
Discology has
This
that
is
we are going
the
to actually wear on
icon
the
bag.
course.
This is their newest bag. It was on pre-order, but now they actually have them. This all extends
That
out.
is a fire
Yep.
pattern.
And it's actually a really, really cool red. It's got some orangish yellow.
Show the other
white.
one. The one that has Ezra has.
It's called
Ezra's
mayonnaise.
not modeling those. He has nothing to do with this, but I think he liked it. I could tell by his face that he liked
This is
the
going to be
bag.
my new bag. This is the OG V2 bag, and I'm pretty sure it's only listed at $89.99.
Come on.
And you cannot
Ooh.
beat that in a disc golf bag.
I'm digging those colors.
Dude.
When we were picking out the colors, I went basic, and now I'm like, shoot,
Yep.
I should have gone one of the
Yep.
little fancy ones.
So this has an awesome blue color to it with almost like a pink kind of trim on it. I know it looks a little bit more red on coverage right now, but it's more of a pink. And Ella, what do you think of this bag?
No, don't make her answer. It's not her colorway.
The colors are good.
Oh, you like
The
the
colors
I like
are
the
good.
colors.
There you go.
That's all I'll comment on.
Oh,
Perfect.
something happened, Ben.
Young Guns.
How come when you went to full screen on guest one, it did that? It goes black?
On guest 2 now, though.
Okay.
All right.
She's young.
We can go back
Well, I
to
guess too.
us. Your guest too, I guess.
Okay. Well, we can fix that.
You're
in a
number
minute.
one to us, though.
When we get a conversation going, I'll fix that, Ben.
Anyway, so Discology bags, get yourself a disc golf pin with it, and then the Nick and Matt Show one, and then maybe we can all talk with them, and maybe we can get a Statmando one. But for the most part, get the Nick and Matt Show one. It's on pre-order right now. So,
Absolutely. Okay, I think I might have already just fixed it, Ben. It's
Look
because
at
we had
that.
to restart the computer and everything was crazy. Tonight, I forgot to mention this. I said that Cole Redolin is going to be in studio, or he is. But we had, and we announced this a while ago, a backyard barbecue tournament event. And it was invite only. We let some fans of the Nick and Matt Show say, hey, I'd like to come. And we picked some special people to come play that. We had Chris Clark, Matt Clark, his son from discgolf.law flew in for this. I think he's quoted as saying, this is one of their most favorite disc golf tournament experiences ever.
Sure
Hell yeah.
was.
Okay, Evan, you think so too. So we are going to interview the winner, and it's going to be it could be a surprise. Leave in the comment. Did I already say this? I said Cole. But I was just going to say, who do you think?
And-
Gannon or
and-
Cole?
Although your barbecue was the premier event of the weekend, there was also the Glitch World Championships, which I
Also,
think is worth just saying who
which
won.
I also
But I'm
heard
not trying to
Cole
say
won
who.
that, but not throwing a glitch.
Yeah, he's throwing
East.
Cole was throwing a DGA gum putt, I believe.
all right. So
Yeah, I totally threw a DJ.
Cole also won the Glitch World Championships,
He
which
cheated.
I'm kidding.
It's on record. He cheated.
all right. So we will be interviewing him
I did. Yeah.
Oh, all
about
right,
that as
never
well.
mind.
But
I was messing with you, Nick. I'm sorry.
and so I just want to say, first of all, in a wrap up of the backyard barbecue tournament, we have plans to do this again. There was Nick and Matt Show trivia that my brother put on. I didn't even win that. I didn't know all the answers. But it was a good time. It actually played out way better than I thought. Gannon Burr said it was probably his favorite event of the whole year so far, but that's probably a lie. But he's nice. He's nice enough. He's staying here at my house. What is he supposed to say?
Exactly.
I aced. Can we just?
Did you?
Yes, I aced on the Glitch World Championship.
Oh, Glitch World Champion.
You have the first
Hold
ever
on.
ace at the Glitch World Championships.
First and only.
Sure was. I was there to witness it, so you're welcome, Ben. It was a fantastic
Evan
shot.
Kern's
Just
the witness
dead
now?
straight.
Okay.
That's my first tournament ace I've ever witnessed.
Well, 9 blue.
Wrapping up the Glitch World Championships, Landon Brooks, 12-year-old disc golfer, MVP sponsored disc golfer, came out and shot only 2 behind Cole I think one behind
No,
Gannon.
tied Gannon.
Tied Gannon, beat James, beat Simon with a glitch only round. So that was in fact fantastic. Shout out to him. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Ella, are you ready? She's always
Yeah, I'm
ready.
ready.
All right, here we go. Oh,
Nice.
she's ready. She's got the microphone and everything. So, all right, here we go. Here's
We're
the
ready.
intro music for Ella.
Winner of the Discmania Open up in Canada,
Yeah,
Ella Hansen.
What's up?
absolutely. Hey,
How's
we're
it going?
good. Hey, I just realized I didn't have music for you. That's okay. We heard the music in studio, but it wasn't playing for everybody else. So we're like jiving.
Just imagine.
So this is the big storyline. Your first disc golf pro tour win.
Yeah.
Is this, I mean, since you came into disc golf, we interviewed you right like pretty much when you came into the sport. Did you think it would happen quicker? Or did you not know if it would ever happen? Or like,
I
what was your
didn't-
thoughts?
I mean, I didn't know if it would ever happen. I feel like, you know, this was like on the easier side, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, it was a small field.
Mm-hmm.
It was a small field. I think that there were some like limitations with the event, but I was really happy to take down the win. It felt good. You know, I wouldn't put it on the same level as obviously winning like a elite or higher event, but it still felt good.
Okay. Yeah. So do you feel like, okay. Yeah. You feel like you should have won this one.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. That's kind of what I was
Also,
getting
when
from.
you-
I'm
it's good when you feel
undefeated in
like that.
Canada in 3
Oh.
tournaments now, so
Sick.
I think
Yeah,
I
you're
think
pretty
all
much
the Pro Tour
Canadian.
events should be in Canada from now on.
And
That's
Ella,
my
going into
stance.
the event, you were the Canadian National Championship winner of last year, which was held partly on this course.
Yep.
And then you see the field size going into this event. Did you feel like it was a must win, or did you feel this added pressure to get the victory, or were you there just playing your game and seeing what happened?
I think a little bit of both. I felt like I was the highest rated player in the field. I felt like I should probably win it. But I also just, I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. Just try to keep playing good disc golf and see what happens.
Yeah. So you're undefeated in Canada. You've been in the sport now for a little while. Do you feel like your expectations, this is a weird question, that you feel like you should have won prior to this point at some point?
I mean, I definitely have had opportunities. Like,
Mhm.
I would be lying if I don't think about Waco often. And, I think that it's kind of hard for me to gauge what my expectations should be, considering I haven't, like, been playing for that long. And it's nice to, like, kind of have the context of, like, okay, I've only actually been playing this sport for 3.5 years. But there's definitely times where I feel like I could be the best player in the field, and I want to do that.
So in your mind, what's holding back from that? Because we talk about disc golf and we talk about FPO, we talk about MPO, and for a long time we'd be like, Ella could definitely win this. Ella could definitely win this. Ella could definitely win this. And I'm not trying to be offensive here, but like,
No.
what do you think it is that's holding you back from like that level of where we see your potential?
I think I've definitely been working through a lot of like the mental stuff and trying not to be paralyzed by fear.
Okay.
Which like I would say I'm not anymore.
Mhm.
But definitely like my first few Pro Tour events when I was playing better than I expected, it was like all of a sudden, oh God, what am I supposed to do? Like a little bit of, imposter syndrome of like, am I really,
Right.
do I deserve this? Am I actually good enough to be here? So I feel like it's kind of a boring answer, but like just trusting the process and
Yeah.
like building myself up, skill wise and mental wise and strategy wise, just over time and hoping and expecting that at some point it will all come together for
Yeah.
a whole tournament.
You talk about a few things that I can relate to in general: imposter syndrome, fear, anxiety, whatever, right? And I can think back to, I think it was U.S. Women's. It might have been your first year, or
Yeah.
your first few events. You did show up on the lead card, right?
Yeah.
And would you say that was the issue back then? Was like fear? Like I think
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm pointing out like negative things, but I feel like I remember you missing like short putt, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
for
man,
sure.
I'm like, she hits those putts and she's the U.S. Women's Champion. Like, so okay, so but you've come a far away from there. You feel like
Yeah.
now that's not your thing now, like being afraid.
I mean, it definitely comes up
Okay.
sometimes. Like, you know, it's hard to just manage emotions all the time, but obviously, like, part of that is trying to work through that and like bounce back from being stressed or being scared about missing something. Yeah, I mean, my confidence has definitely, you know, skyrocketed since then, and I think I've always had a good knack for like throwing frisbees. But I feel like my skill set has really, you know, grown and changed a lot since that tournament.
And so how does a win like this in Canada, as much as you feel like it's something you should have won, and you talked about the strength of the field, right, Evan?
Yeah, good one.
Good one. You've talked about that. So how does something like this, now you talked about your confidence level being like, you're like, now I have a lot of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Are you unstoppable now?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'll say
In Canada, you are.
For everyone else in FPO, yes, I'm unstoppable. Be scared of me.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's not linear. My dad used to say life is not linear, and I feel like that's like a really good way to think about the world, and just like, you know, you can hope that everything is going to be building on previous stuff, like keeping that experience going, but that's not necessarily true about the world.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think I'm trying to keep my skills sharp and keep focusing and continuing to improve, and not just being satisfied with where I'm at, because I really have a hunger to win, and I also want to beat Holland to the win. First win. So.
She's getting close too.
So you have a little rivalry like that going on, you and Holland?
Have you heard about our bet?
I don't think so.
Whoever wins the first elite or major gets to dye the other person's hair whatever color they want. So high stakes, you know.
Well, what color do you want to dye her hair? You don't know yet.
I don't know yet. I think it's got to be a feel thing. It's got to be a feel thing.
In the moment.
Yeah.
How am I feeling?
Yeah.
What in your game do you feel like you're missing to kind of take down that Elite Series event? Like, what do you feel like? Do you think it's more mental? Do you think it's actually something with your style of play? Anything like that?
I think it's really just consistency with putting. That's definitely my weakness. I feel like I can throw the disc just as good or better than most of the people in the field, and I think just there are some times where my putt feels great and easy, and sometimes where it feels like there's no way I could make anything. So just trying to stick more with the confidence and having a really, really confident and consistent tournament with putting. Yeah, I think that should do it.
Okay. We talk disc golf nonstop here at the Nick and Matt Show, whether we're recording it or not. And then we talk disc golf because Gannon and Cole are staying. It's just nonstop disc golf talk. So topics come up. One of them being, and we have an opinion about FPO, but we are not FPO players, how FPO players throw. You throw extremely far. Like, I would dream of throwing as far as you, and I've been playing for 17 years. It's incredible. It's inspiring and awesome. You do it in I don't want to use the word graceful as to demonstrate like weak, but you do it in a it doesn't look power. Like you look at Eagle McMahon, right? Even in the playoff, he's ripping it. Am I wrong to say like we don't see a lot of FPO players actually with that ripping force, right? Somehow you're accomplishing the distance. But like, what do you think that's about? Is that something you would strive to do? Like, hey, I want to see if I can actually get more power. Like, could you throw farther than you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could throw farther.
Okay.
I do kind of have a more controlled distance, I guess. I try not to really throw anything more than like 80% power max in tournaments and stuff, just to stay controlled. But yeah, I think, you know, I could talk for a long time actually about form, especially with FPO players. But yeah, I think that coming from Ultimate, I feel like I had a good advantage that way of just knowing how to use my body and use my core and my lower body to generate power. And so I think that's where a lot of my distance comes from. Like, I think my arm speed is not actually that high relative to some of the other like distance throwing FPO players. So I think a lot of my power just comes from my body, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel like I have a fairly efficient swing, and that's like the number one thing kind of that I see with other FPO players who don't have the distance is just inconsistent, like inefficient swings that just, you know, not going in a straight line, rounding, all sorts of fun stuff like that.
So just form issues in general, you would say, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the FPO field as a whole is like, it's growing really fast, and I think that if you want to do your own research and just look at like what the cut line for Worlds was 2 or 3 years ago and what the rating at the cut line was this year, I think that'll just show you how the field is growing. But I think that a lot of people have gotten away with having that controlled wonky-ish form. And I think that, you know, I just see I think there's a lot of people who have way more potential in distance-wise, and yeah.
Interesting. We could do a whole podcast on your thoughts on, you were talking about form and FPO. And I think we asked you a question. When was it? I've done multiple shows, DGN here, there, when you were coming into the sport. And I think it was on this platform. I think it was Nick and Matt's show. We asked the question, did you see an opportunity in FPO? Like when you came in, you're like, where I'm coming from, like we're doing XYZ. And I feel like it's not that hard to achieve it here. Seems like the field, and I'll just say it, you don't have to. It seems like the field was kind of on the weaker side. Like it was easy to perform at a high level. You're saying it's changed now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that like, yeah, if you just look at like me and Holland, and, you know, I came from a background of throwing Frisbees, but Holland had not thrown a Frisbee before, or a disc, whatever you want to say, before like January 2020, I think is when she started. So obviously like both of us have strong athletic backgrounds, but, you know, I would say that having two players like come into the sport and make an impact within a year of just playing the sport, I think, you know, kind of proves that point of like, yes, that's not to say that there aren't really good players in the FPO field. Just that, like, yeah, I think depth-wise, it's not even close to what the potential could be.
Are there more? You came from Ultimate. You were successful there. Are there more Ultimate players who are going to make the jump over the years? And, like, how many have you seen since, like, your time?
There are definitely some. I would say it's kind of a challenge because, like, for me, I haven't played competitive Ultimate in 2 years. So you kind of can't really do both at the same time. Right. And I think a lot of people are really attached to playing Ultimate, which is very fair. I love Ultimate. Sure. I miss playing it. But yeah, I think there might be some. I think the Ultimate people are really kind of in their own.
Well,
vibes,
so are disc golfers. They're probably like, our disc golfers coming over to Ultimate. They're like, no, they really like disc golf. So my question would be, from your opinion, you've done both at a high level. Do you feel like if Ultimate players started playing disc golf, they'd be like, yeah, I actually like this better? Do you think that would happen?
Some, yeah. I mean, that's what happened to me.
Right.
That's exactly what happened to me. I thought disc golf was so dumb for so long. I think that is a sentiment that was shared by like 95% of Ultimate players. And like, I think a lot of disc golfers feel that way about Ultimate players, you know?
It's funny.
So I kind of
I was going to say, funny enough, it's not really about the players. It's more about the sport. Like, I think Ultimate's actually really fun. I never played it competitively. I just, you know, not even really intramurally, but it was more people were like, hey, do you want to go and play Ultimate Frisbee? I'm like, yeah, let's go have some fun. Just run up and down the field throwing a Frisbee at each other. Sounds good. I'm in. But it's funny because like I always looked at Ultimate that way, where I was like, hey, it's a cool sport. There's obviously incredible athletes that are playing that sport and are really good at it. And it's always funny because then I hear like Ultimate Frisbee players go and look at disc golf and look at athletes around the world just in general. There are so many people who still don't want to call disc golf a sport or anything like that. I'm like, why? We just have a different sport. And so it's always just, you know, funny to me.
I want to kind of come up with like a fun, quick game with this. Ella, you're the captain of two teams, a team that's all Ultimate players and a team that's all disc golfers, and they play each sport, which I don't know how the competition would work. It's kind of all hypothetical. Who would be better at switching sports? Your pick of Ultimate players or your pick of disc golfers?
How much time do I get to train them?
Oh,
so that's a good question. Let's say 2. How long?
6 months.
Okay, 6 months. Yeah, fair.
If I got to pick the disc golfers, then I'd
Yes.
say the disc golfers playing Ultimate. But if it was just random, then the other way around.
3 players.
Like,
Who
if
would,
I could
who
get,
would you
like-
pick?
Like Paige and Kevin Jones
Oh, snap.
and I don't know, like Luke Sampson or somebody big.
Dude, like, what about like James Conrad? Is that out? I don't even know. I got it.
I just don't know if he has an aggression factor.
Ah.
he can throw a disc real good.
I've seen him kick stumps
That's
very
true.
hard in
That's
his
true.
career. I'm sure he could
You
use
know,
the
we
same
all know
energy.
he's full of rage. He
He's
could just
tapped
bring
that
out
tree
on the-
so hard. He
the
just
ultimate
tapped the
field.
tree. That's so funny. Those compilations crack me
Well,
up.
Ella, I'm not. I don't know a ton about Ultimate history. I know you were accomplished in Ultimate, but if you want to maybe just take 30 seconds to tell the disc golf fans here what are some of your accomplishments in Ultimate, or some of the titles you have or your team has, just so we kind of have an idea.
Okay. Well, let's see. I was an alternate for the under 20 national team. Won 2 youth national championships, 1 college national championship, and 2 under 24 world championships with Team USA. 1 as a captain. So I had some good stuff in my Ultimate career. That's for sure.
All right. So you finally won a disc golf pro tour event. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You feel like you kind of should have won it.
Yeah.
Okay. But it must be at least something for you, or like
Yeah.
where do you rate it then? Like for you, like 1 out of 10. I know it's hard to do number
1 out of
system,
10.
but like how do you value this win? Like it's important, but like how important?
I mean, like, yeah, I would agree. It's like the biggest win of my
Okay.
career so far.
There you
But I've
go.
only won like 6 maybe tournaments before
Okay.
this. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
So is
biggest
this the
win-
strongest field you've won in?
Mm,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Actually, maybe.
It's a good
We
thing we
need-
have a
we need
stat
stat-
guy
yeah,
who
stat
can
guy.
actually look that up.
Strength of the field.
All right, I'm on my laptop here. The screen's smaller. I did have it pulled up, all your wins, the size of the field, the average ratings,
Whoa.
all that jazz.
Come on.
I'm looking for it right now. So it
Awesome.
might be
Okay,
a
that's
second.
okay.
Yeah.
It can take
We
a
can
second.
stall.
What's
Oh, I found it.
Oh,
Look at this.
okay, go
That was
ahead.
good timing.
Go ahead.
Perfect.
So this one, field size is 7. You've had a few that are smaller, the SeaTac Turkey Toss and XC Tier, and a Flex Start that only had 3. Besides that, this would be tied. The average rating of the field, though, it looks like it's the second highest, after that Flex Start being the highest. So other than that,
Wow.
That's funny. I think the
905.8.
flex start, I was the only one playing.
I have three players here.
So, okay, maybe 3.
Highest
Yeah.
strength of field,
I
though.
don't know.
So 3 players. I mean, and when the less
Yeah,
players you
okay.
have, the more your rating factors into the average rating.
Sure, yeah.
So it's not the average rating of everyone else.
Oh.
But yeah, average rating at 905, which, give or take, what that is. But you've won more than a few 3-round events too. So I know I said a few Flex Starts. Let's see if I can pull anything else. But
While he's doing that, why do you think the field was small? Is it because travel to Canada, its proximity to the playoffs and worlds? Like, is it all of that, or is there anything else that stands out?
I mean, yeah, I think there was just a lot of factors that kind of negatively affected. I know that the organizing folks were kind of, understandably a little disappointed with field size, both for MPO and FPO. But I think they did the best with the options that they had.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I've now been up to PEI past 2 years, and it's both times have been a great week. I love it. I do not regret going, putting in a bunch of travel time this week after Worlds and then before this playoff. I think, yeah, hopefully more and more people keep coming up. Hopefully keep having the Silver Series or just Pro Tour events up in Canada. They got a lot of cool people, good fans up there. Good hand pies, good hanging.
favorite hand pie. The
Yeah,
chat
someone asked
actually asked
what
that.
flavor your favorite
The
one was.
PEI pasty. It's like beef and gravy and
Oh,
mashed potatoes.
Come on.
See, I was thinking like
So
blueberry or apple.
No, but that's like
but-
borderline like chicken pot pie, like
They also have chicken pot pie. That one's pretty
man.
good too.
like shepherd's pie.
Thomas Gilbert's favorite is birthday cake, which is pretty good.
What?
I think
What
he
is
had like
that?
6 yesterday.
It's like the same thing. It's like
It's
a
like-
pocket, but it's like
Yeah,
Cake?
there's like cake inside, and then like it's frosted on top.
Sprinkles.
It's pretty good, but I don't think I
Wow.
could eat 6 in one day.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Um,
What's your favorite part about touring? You said you've been doing this for about 3 years now, so and you
Mhm.
kind of came right on to the competitive pro tour scene very quickly. What's your favorite and what's your least favorite part about touring?
I mean, I like driving, so besides like my body getting stiff, I kind of enjoy that aspect. I think my least favorite, as much as I love the fans in the Midwest, being there for 2 months in the summer in full humidity and heat is not my favorite scheduling, to be honest. That's probably the negative. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the times when I explain what I do for a living to people, they're like, "Oh, you must be so lonely," but you know, that's not true. I have so many friends. I got a lot of homies on tour, and it's pretty cool to just have friends traveling around with you.
Does anyone travel with you in the sense, you're a van lifer,
Yep.
right? Do you have
I'm
someone
just
that
me
every
and
so
my
often?
van.
Okay.
Yeah, it's me and the
how
van.
about what have you found on the road? There's so much exploring to be done, hiking, fishing, whatever. There's all the outdoor stuff and the scenery. But is there anything that you found that you like to do? Like, I don't know, draw, like I'm just making up things that you find like I can just do for myself alone or whatever, you know, like, I don't know. Is there anything you've discovered?
I mean, I've been really into music for a while, so this year I upgraded my van. Finally I got a new guitar to bring on tour,
sweet.
so I play a lot of guitar.
I have an acoustic down here. Could you play us something?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, Ezra, can you? The guitar's
I
right
don't know
near
what
the
I'm supposed
piano.
to play.
No, I don't know. We'll just figure something out. Like,
Hot crust buns, maybe.
we won't even like
Hot
put
crust
you on.
buns,
You just
yeah.
like play while we talk. Like, you don't
Okay,
have to be
great.
like. It doesn't have to be just like.
Freebird.
Well, guys,
got 90
I need a
minutes.
little more planning.
I'm no Simon Lizotte.
I'll bring the piano. We'll do a little duet.
There's probably guitar picks and all if you need them in this case. There's capo in there. I don't know what the tune is though. You might have to do a little tune on
We'll
it.
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Who
I
needs
think we
to-
did this to Corey Ellis.
Yeah.
We were
Okay,
like,
Corey,
Corey, is that a
yeah.
guitar behind you?
Definitely gonna be
Yeah.
killing me.
No, this is no competition. Ben, can you
Hey,
hold
can you
the
hold
mic
the
for her?
microphone for her, please?
And when she figures it out, you can just hold it up. It's probably out of tune.
It's a little out of tune.
Yeah, you can give it a little tune job. Okay, while she's doing the tuning, let's see. Ooh, that's a weird sound to give everybody. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
The
a little
okay,
staticky.
Static. Okay. I'll say it again. If you got to this part, pre-order the Nick and Matt Show pins. We really appreciate it. It's in our details and descriptions. Some conversations that are coming up later, which you guys might be like, are you kidding me? But the GOAT conversation will come up. The youngins here have an opinion on it. Also, the quote from Aaron Gossage as Maple Hill is the worst course on tour. That will come up again. We actually have some players going through locally now, like from tour to locally here to playing it, and we're going to get their reaction to that take. And also, I mentioned the backyard barbecue tournament. Bodanza Disc Golf. Shout out to another media creator on YouTube and does a fantastic thing over there. Go follow him if you're not. If you are, of course you are. But he videoed his experience at our backyard barbecue tournament. So if you want to see that, follow Bodanza Disc Golf. You'll be able to see that there. And then finally, this one we might just discuss. It probably seems pretty obvious, but I'm interested in the takes here. Are some silver events worth more than others? And why? Like, so Ella just goes, it's a weak field. So is that what makes the event worth it? Or is a silver event worth a silver event worth a silver event? Like, should she just be like, yep, it's just as good?
Yeah.
So we'll get to all
I want to talk about that right now, but
Yeah,
we'll
let's
talk
let-
about it later.
Let's
Gotta wait,
let's
Nick.
pull it up. Let's see.
I know.
I feel like she's got a decent tune. Okay. Just hold that mic right up to it. Let me see if I can hear it.
What am I supposed to play?
Yeah, right up there.
You're
You
doing
go.
fantastic.
Yeah, just
so
whatever you want.
that is.
Do you have like a song that you just know?
Get a little close as you can, Ben. There you go.
I don't play guitar in front of people in a long time. Well, not
It's all good.
people, but like 4 people.
Wonderful. There, yeah, in studio, live, without any, warning. That was
great.
perfect.
Who needs to throw out a first pitch when you can just play guitar
Yeah,
in front
right?
of people?
Well,
Like that was
First
Yeah, wait,
pitch is
didn't you do
less
that last year?
stressful. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
sick.
done a couple.
Sick.
Okay.
which on
You rather
that.
throw a first pitch or first disc, Gannon? First disc or pitch?
You want to just whip a disc at a
Have
catcher?
you done a first pitch yet, or you just first disc?
Ella, you
when
did
you
that,
stood
yeah.
up for the first pitch, do you like it? I'm like stuttering here trying to figure out how to say it.
He just
like,
freezes.
Like that's my point right here though, is like you get up there and you're just like, I forget how to throw a baseball.
No.
Like, or you just like tune everything out and you're like,
You
just like, I mean,
you
it's
can't
like
think
disc
about
golf
it.
kinda.
You just gotta throw it. My whole strategy is it's better to be high than to spike it in the dirt. So it's like if you miss a
That's
little
true.
high, it's a lot less
Very
embarrassing
true.
than if you just throw it straight into the ground.
Yeah, my thoughts go to you see all the bad bloopers. You're like, I can't be this bad blooper, and that's the pressure.
Yeah,
like throwing a
that's
pitch
true.
is easy, and
You just can't think about it, you know?
yeah,
I played a lot of baseball growing up, so I hope that will stick with me forever.
nice, very cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, Ella, we know you were up early. You had a long weekend. You performed well. You won. You traveled down here. What was it, like 12 hours, 14, 11?
10 and a half.
10?
Or
Okay,
something
so
like
yeah.
that. Not
Oh.
too bad, but
Yeah, I was told it was 14, which is why I thought it'd deter people. But 10 and a half, that's...
I think it was 14 from
same
Vermont
grouping.
and then 10 back here.
Oh,
okay.
that makes more sense.
True.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
we don't want to keep you, but you're free to relax, fall asleep on the couch or whatever you want.
Cool.
But like you can also take off. We are really appreciative to have you on the show tonight, and we'll be rooting for you again. And maybe next time you won't say I should have won. You'll say like that was hard.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome, and we'll have you on again.
Awesome. Thank
Best
y'all.
way for people to support you.
Yeah, you can buy my signature disc at Discmania, the Showstopper Swirly S-Line FD. It's a pretty good disc. You can follow me on Instagram at OneThrowElla. You can buy my signature bag on Pound. That's
Woo-woo.
pre-orders are out now. It's pretty sick, if I do say so myself.
What's your color combination?
It's like red and teal and yellow and navy blue.
Sick.
It's pretty great.
Awesome.
Free ad for Pound right there.
Yep.
Boom. That's how it works.
Yeah.
There is value to the Nick and Matt show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just go support Ella. That's in fact that is a great bag.
Yeah.
But we're glad to have you on, and we'll be following you, and we'll catch up another time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, awesome. All right, everybody. Ella.
Feel free to just sit there and play the guitar the whole night. I'm just kidding. Good.
All right. What we're gonna actually do is swap out. If she does want to play the guitar, swap out. What we'll do is bring over the other three. There's three here, right? Three other disc golfers.
Yeah, we have on the now winner of the
Oh.
backyard barbecue.
Watch out.
Yes,
You're
that is
standing in
me,
front of the camera.
Gannon Burr, the backyard barbecue.
It's actually who
Annenberg.
All right.
who got the Sour Patch? Get a couple of those, please.
Okay, so this should actually be the music we play for this part.
Welcome to the Nick and
Okay.
Matt Show.
So they get
Hold
some
it on.
hype music.
Ezra Robinson
Yeah, there you go.
at shooting guard. Like, I feel like what I should be doing right now.
Yeah, it's true.
At shooting guard.
Cole
Actually,
Ridoli.
I don't know. All three of them are like centers in any high school basketball game.
No, Gannon, you're the center.
He's literally in the center.
I'm a shooting guard. I'm a shooting guard. I'm
Okay.
a
He's
point
like
guard.
that classic, just like tall guy you gotta face.
What I'm gonna do while we get ready to interview them, and I just realized I had to restart my computer earlier, so I'm gonna get this pulled up. We're gonna go ahead with these guys just getting lined up right now. We're gonna go ahead and do. Can you go to the live phone call, Ben? If you'd like to win USDGC tickets, 2 VIP USDGC tickets, you need to call in right now, and I will answer it immediately. And we're going to be quick on the screen if this turns out not to be good. But immediately, you have to answer, how many aces do I have? How many aces do I have? The phone number is on
That's
the
our
screen.
quiz question?
That is
No, we had different ones.
Dude,
No.
we struggled for 45 minutes, and I said,
Oh.
this is it. Here we go.
I mean, I think that's a pretty good quiz. It's not that we're falling back to that. It's a
We're
good
giving
one.
we're
and I
giving
didn't
two
get
tickets
a
away?
better one.
2 tickets right here. This is it. They get to bring a friend. Here's the phone
Oh,
call.
okay,
All
gotcha.
right, let's see. Let's see if this is working. Hold on. Let's try it out here. Okay.
How many?
You should be able to hear us. How
does
many
Matt Graham have?
How many aces do I
Are you
have?
keeping it open ended, or is it like tournament only, like
No,
real
it's-
rounds?
It has to be legit. Like, it's not my backyard ace. It's first throw from a tee pad to a basket, no practice.
And
There you go.
you've got the number in your head already.
I have it in my head.
Write it down.
I'm gonna show off screen. So wait, nope, don't show me. Go to the boys again,
Yeah.
Ben. Okay. This is how many. Everyone in the room now knows how many.
Okay.
Okay. So now. Okay, here we go. You're on the call. I think we could hear you. So go ahead, give us your answer.
28.
28 is not the correct answer. We're going to hang up. Thanks for calling. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we have another incoming call. Here we go. Okay, you're on the Nick and Matt show. If you can hear us, give us what you think. How many aces?
Yo, what's happening? I'm going to say, 6 aces.
6. Good guess. Not correct. We'll start giving hints here in a little bit. Let's see if we can line up. Oh, there's another incoming call. We're going to keep bringing them in.
I feel
All
like
right.
now that we're on the Nick and Matt show, it's almost like a live radio.
It is
show
live
right now.
radio.
Like, welcome.
They can't hear over there without the headphones on. Okay, if you can hear us, what's your answer for Nick and Matt show? How many aces has Matt got? Myself. Can you hear us? I can hear that you're hearing us, but do you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I hear yes. How many aces do I have? How many aces do you think I have?
6.
6. No, that is incorrect. Thank you very much. Okay, we have another incoming call here. We're gonna do this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, trash.
All right. How many aces do I have?
4?
4 is not correct. I'm going to give a hint here after this next
I
one.
feel rude not saying like thank you for calling
Yeah, thanks
in,
for calling.
but,
No, this is real radio, bro.
To
You
everyone, thank you for calling in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
Yeah.
How many aces do I have?
9.
Ladies
Ding, 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 ding,
and
ding.
gentlemen. So,
Let's go.
stay on the phone call here. I got to start declining all these other calls. All right. Good person who called in the show. What is your name?
What is your name?
Ethan?
Ethan. All right, Ethan. So you are going to send us a text message following this call, okay, to this phone number that you just called. And nobody else can fake out who you are. I'm going to make sure, you know, that we actually get the right one here. So text me right now if you can. That way I know we're actually talking to the right person. Just send me a text. Say, hey, this is Ethan with your last name included. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hook you up with the event organizers for the USDGC, and we will get you the tickets, the VIP tickets to USDGC. Thank you to USDGC for collaborating with us. And Ethan, where are you from?
Louisiana. South Louisiana.
South Louisiana.
All right.
So any big hurricanes coming?
What?
None this year. We've been pretty fortunate. They've gone all around us for the past few years.
And that's why I asked, because I was down there for about a month doing storm restoration a year and a half ago. Louisiana is just like prime time hurricane. So glad they're going around you. And how long have you been playing disc golf?
About 13 years now.
Wow. Oh, awesome.
go.
And how many
Well
aces do you have?
1.
1. Okay.
Let's go.
I'm
Yeah.
so happy you guessed 9. Was that random, or do I look like a 9 ace kind of guy?
It was just random.
Perfect.
Perfect
Yeah,
number.
less than one a
It
year.
was either
right, Matt?
7 or 9, and I picked 9.
Well, you got it, man. So I see that you're here in the group texting, and I'm going to respond to that so we have confirmation. Then what I'll do is at some point following the show, it might be a day or two, but I'll get you connected with the event organizers, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Hey, and before
Surprised
you
I
go,
won.
do we have,
Yeah.
can you, one of you throw on your headphones there? We'll put Cole's headphones on. You may have 0 questions for Cole, and I'm putting you on the spot. But do you have any questions for a touring pro disc golfer at all? Anything that comes and stands out in your mind for Cole Redolin? Or Gannon?
Cole?
Yeah, Cole or Gannon. We'll give him
Cole
the
or
headphones.
Gannon. How hard was it starting so early?
How
so
was
young.
it starting so early? Give him the microphone. Just give him the microphone. How was it starting so early? You mean as like a child?
Yeah, like since they're both super young touring.
Okay, so when you started young, how hard was disc golf for you when you started young?
Super young.
I think it always depends on what your mindset is, because if you expect everything to be perfect, then you're going to be frustrated and throw it down the drain every single time. I think when you're young, it's easy. You either have no expectations for yourself or you have all the expectations for yourself. And so I feel like I didn't feel like it was that difficult because I didn't have a lot of expectations for myself. So I was just doing the best I could, and it was just a really fun time.
Cool. And does Gannon have any thoughts before we let Ethan go? What was it like starting so early? We talked about this earlier. You were good at all sports.
I was good at a couple sports.
All sports. No.
I was actually decent at pretty much every sport I played, but I was mainly in basketball, baseball, and disc golf, and then I played some high school basketball and didn't really love like the whole team aspect, and so yeah, in disc golf just started probably at 10 years old, and I always kind of I don't know, I always kind of told my mom like I hope I never get out of disc golf because I loved it so much at the time, and then obviously I'm here now, so I've obviously still been in love with it, and I guess the only tough part was like in terms of just like my game, like I had like a big growth spurt from like 6 foot to like 6'6", where I actually didn't play too much disc golf during one of the off seasons, and I kind of lost my timing for a little bit because my like limbs got so much longer. So that's probably the toughest part, but yeah, that's it.
Wow. First of all, thank you for your answers. But second of all, Ben, did you notice the buzzing went away? Do you hear the buzzing? Or is it just me? It went away. Whatever they did to their mic right then was perfect. Wonderful.
I do not hear the buzzing.
Okay, me neither. It's beautiful now. Something just stopped. Okay, Ethan, thank you very much for your call. I responded to you via text. We'll connect you soon. If you don't hear back, just bombard us, but you'll hear back because we got to get those tickets to you. Thanks, Ethan.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye. Cool, everybody. We should try that more often. Actually, we have more giveaways to do soon. Stay tuned for the special bonus episode I told you about, September 18th, Paul Macbeth Foundation, and the Fight for the Forgotten organization. That will be Wednesday night. We're going to give away a lot more stuff. I heard. Yeah. I can't give spoilers there, but we're
so Young Guns on the couch right now. Just remember, Gannon, you are on screen full time.
But we can go full screen too.
Yeah, when we go full screen, all you guys are there. But
the chat wants to know, is Ezra throwing food on the floor? That's one question.
Because he keeps just whipping it. You give him the mic. Let him answer.
Dude, that was a good idea. Overthrow was saying to confirm.
Waste food.
Does not waste food.
My wife's on the couch.
Is that cord really that short, or do we need extra? Okay.
Oh, you just
it's wrapped a million times.
Sorry. Okay. That was a question. Who's taller? Out of this group, who's taller? That's pretty, I think, obvious.
I got it.
You can clearly tell.
One other thing for the guys on the couch, I'll just say, don't be afraid to like eat the mic, not eat it like food, but like get really close to the mic. Okay, there you go. Here's the question of the night. And we'll let the chat chime in too here, but we got some good ones. Last night, I showed Gannon and Cole something I think they've never seen before, which was the 2004 MSDGC disc golf competition. This is prior to Vibram Open, prior to Maple Hill Open presented by Vibram, prior to MVP Open. It's the iterations of how we got to where we are today at the MVP Open. And they saw this footage. Now, Steve Dodge created old schoolers, Steve Brinster, Ron Russell, and like a whole bunch of others like that. Jay Yeti when he looked like a teenager. No, it was a while ago. What was your first reaction, Cole or Gannon, to seeing that footage? Like what was going through your head like as you watched? Because we were kind of laughing. What did you think?
What was going through my head is, and I'm sorry.
Get that microphone a little closer.
Hello.
Perfect.
What was going through my head, and I'm sorry to anyone who believes this, is Ken Kalamo is not the GOAT.
And
because we were watching Ron Russell, and I'm like, this dude's like 980 rated. And so I was like, if he was considered like one of the GOATs back then, like he had nobody to play against. Still a really good disc golfer.
Oh no!
Do we have the flame stuff? Can we get that going?
You got to go
right
back
now?
to like 3 or 4 up. But anyways, we don't need to. So here's what I'm thinking.
That's our perfect.
This is perfect. So, but in all seriousness,
you just made headlines on our thumbnail.
No. To be clear,
I love Ken.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
that's just my point of view.
To be fair, Ken Kalamo was not in this video, right? So like,
no, he was not.
To be fair, it's not like, oh, we watched him and it looked like a joke. But what stood out to you about the competition that you were watching that made you think that? Like, what stood out to you about it that was like, there's no way?
They all had like really long, baggy clothes on.
So that's what it was.
Hold up. Combined with the super whack form. Really just like, it just made me feel like this is why people made fun of disc golf.
So, do you remember, and I don't remember who it was, they lined up facing away from the basket, right? Do you remember that?
He wasn't even facing the basket. It was,
is that Brad Hammock? Isn't that
no, Ron Russell did it too.
Yeah.
He was like,
He aimed towards the water on hole 5. Remember that? He was aiming towards the water,
And then he just turns 90 degrees and hey, makes his 10-foot putt, and he celebrated like it was the world championship.
But he made it. But like, what else were we seeing that made you think that? The length of holes, right? Significantly different.
The one more thing I saw is like there was a couple holes they were playing that I still like know where they're at today, and like they weren't even attempting to like try to go for the hole. They kind of just like they'd break like a 480-foot par 4. And they wouldn't even like attempt to get a putt because like they like weren't good enough, and they were just like, I don't know, a lot of bad shots were thrown that I was like, that would never ever cut it today. And like a couple of people threw where I was like they teed off from like the super short tee, or I guess it's not, I guess it's the FPO tee for hole 1, but like at that point, and it looked pretty calm. I feel like it's impossible not to clear the water, and one like dude in the pro division just threw it like in the middle of the pond on a cut roller. And, like, and it's not like this was like the first round. Like this was after round 1, so this was like the lead card or something.
Ooh.
I would say DX
Ella
Eagle.
says what
DX
this?
Firebrute. I don't know. But the other people were getting them to flex out and everything, so it was just the worst shot ever.
Okay, so here's a follow-up to that. I want to kind of help lead this. It's not a debate per se. You're just bringing your takes. But like, if you had the same disc and I look back and somehow we transported you back to that event and like I could watch you in that footage, are you saying the skill level of disc golfers has increased so much that even you back then would perform at a higher level? And I don't mean to make you sound cocky, but I'm just saying the skill level of players today.
Yeah, I think if you literally just took every player today and then just gave us the disc that they had back then exactly, I think you're like middle of the road MPO players would win almost every single time against the top competition back then.
I think that's, I don't know. I'm not here to bring my take right now.
I 100% agree with everything.
This young generation, cocky.
Man.
It's awesome.
Is a glitch, and I don't mean to like, talk about non-sponsored players like companies here, but like in general, we just did glitch thing at Maple Hill. Like the whole local scene, 180 of us went out and threw glitches. Cole, you happened to throw 13 down using a Frisbee, more or less.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the glitch is even close to like what the same stuff they had back then, or is it even like way better? Like
I haven't thrown a lot of what they were throwing back then, but I feel like there could be some similarities. I think the glitch is probably like an evolved version of what used to be, but yeah,
well,
similar probably. I mean, you still have to have like a crazy amount of touch and control to throw the glitch. Like it is a very difficult disc to throw. And even sometimes during the round, when you are playing on a course, you're like, wow, I don't know how that came out good, but it just did. Because sometimes it just doesn't feel predictable to throw that hard with that such slow of a disc, as far as light of a disc as well. So, I mean, like the amount of control that it takes to be able to throw one of those discs really, really well consistently is very difficult. But I also feel like the players of today are just... Sure, the players back then, like there was a lot less forehands back then. Like every player's throwing harder nowadays, but I feel like, a lot of us come from the roots of all of that. So we still know how to disc down. We still know how to throw touchy shots. We're just not forced to do that week in and week out because our courses are getting so long where we can throw as hard or far we want with a mid-range or a putter or a driver now. You don't see a lot of touch shots on tour anymore unless you see someone who just decides that their specialty is a backhand touch shot, which I prefer the backhand touch shot over just a pitch forehand. But then Gannon would choose like a pitch forehand over a backhand touch shot. So I think it just comes down to player preference. But I think if you stuck today's field on the same courses back then, we would absolutely destroy the field just because of now we'd be forced to throw those touch shots, which means now it's a whole new game, and it's not like we don't know how to throw those touch shots. It's that you just don't see us really throwing them because we don't have the opportunities to.
Shout out to Overthrow Disc Golf. We usually shout them out. I don't know who it is exactly. It's probably Josh, but he says, I can agree with that, but it's tough to trash their form, meaning the history, right, back 20 years ago, because form is a result of technology, meaning they didn't have the same concept. So it's not, I think it's one of these things where we're saying, yes, we're better, but like they didn't have the opportunity to be as good. They didn't have the opportunity to be as good today, so they only could do what they could do. You know, I can
almost agree to disagree with that because I understand, like players trying to throw 400 feet back then versus 400 feet now. The technology is definitely different. But Evan, maybe you can answer this. But a basketball, hasn't changed since the inception of basketball very much, right?
The size, I don't think so, but like the texture, I'm sure has.
So look at, you know, players' forms when like Bob Cousy and Bill Russell were playing. It's just a bunch of, you know, weirdly athletic, very good athletes back in the day, but horrible form compared to the athletes that we have nowadays. Their technology hasn't really changed, but the generation has changed, and you know the generations I feel like kind of keep getting more and more athletic.
I'll say something.
But sorry, they're just bringing cookies
So
down here.
the cookies
So
always
I
come
think
when studio guests are here.
I think I can kind of agree to disagree with that.
So if you
I have something
hand,
else to add.
yes, and I'll let you.
Okay.
If you handed Gannon or Cole, and I've actually observed this, they during non-tournament rounds, they're allowed to throw, I think, whatever they want. I don't know their contract exactly, but I would say Sonics in general, I have Sonics, I have throw Sonics, are flippy. I would say Polecats are flippy. I have a lot of Innova because my kids are sponsored by Innova. And the chat is saying, if you hand Gannon or Cole a flippy disc, which actually, Gannon, again, I saw you throw a 115 gram fairway driver in my backyard, and he did incredible with it. So, and it's a paper plate. So it's an interesting thing. We'll never be able to actually be like, I want to see that competition, like bring Gannon back to 2004. But anyways, that's
I saw
cool.
Gannon throw a sled super well. He just found it under your
one of those
deck
saucers
and throws it. I'm
Sledding
like, man,
saucers.
you throw that a couple more times, and yeah, you could play disc golf with that.
I think that's
go ahead, Cole.
Or is that you,
that's-
Cole? I'm sorry.
That's that was exactly my point earlier. Like all of us can throw touchy shots. Like Gannon might not be super known for touchy backhands, but that doesn't mean he can't throw it. And of course, you want to say something else, but I definitely think also like I don't see honestly any reason why the players back then. I guess I don't really understand the technology argument for form because, you know, in my personal opinion, like I learned from Zoe, and Zoe teaches like the most bare bone disc golf form like you can possibly have for beginners, and like that's how you teach a beginner of disc golf. That's how I learned, is the way she taught me, and it was very simple. It was just very much like reach back and pull through and in your line of play, and I just like, if they didn't know that, like the basics, then how did I get to where I am, kind of a thing. Is like, I don't know. I mean, sure, I watch YouTube videos, sure, I study players, but I really don't see how they couldn't study other players, or at least like understand. I don't know. It doesn't feel like I did anything too different than what I've been doing myself.
So when do we make the cutoff of like, because we kind of call the younger generation right now the YouTube generation. When's the cutoff for that? Like when Paul was starting to get really good, Shoestrick, Ricky, Nico, they didn't really have YouTube like we have today. So it's kind of the same. Everyone says you kind of learn from the generation before you. You guys are the up and coming generation of disc golf right now. So it's kind of like when in 2005 did all of a sudden we just switch from being the old generation to the new generation. I'm just kind of curious of, you know, because I can agree. I think that every single player in the top 20 right now on the tour could go back. The holes were shorter back then. I think the courses were easier compared to what we have nowadays. I mean, we're playing the longest courses that we've ever seen on the Disc Golf Pro Tour in the last few years. So,
all right,
Cole.
I think it's also really important to lay the groundwork that, like, we're not here without the pros of the 70s and 80s, but the pros of the 90s and early 2000s. And so it's not, I don't think, I'm going to speak for everyone else in this room. I don't think anyone's being ungrateful to the past, but just on a purely analyzing the form.
No, Gannon's trashing them.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Ben, what's the chat have to say about
Cole.
this?
Correct. Cole, do you remember when we grounded you from disc golf and you made a paper plate out of frisbees? Do you remember when we did that?
That's your mom in the chat.
Oh,
your mom's asking when she grounded you.
I remember that. I absolutely do remember that. I don't know why I got grounded. I'm sure she
don't.
But I remember getting grounded from disc
tell us
golf.
why. No,
that was brutal.
That's brutal.
Some kids get their Xbox taken away and other things. I got disc golf taken away, and that
she feels bad now. I'm sure.
So I think so. Yeah, I took a paper. I taped a bunch of paper plates together and started throwing outside. Honestly, it probably really helped my touch game. I mean, if I hadn't gotten grounded from disc golf, maybe I would have never learned how to throw a touch back in. So
okay, and then she says that you and Gannon actually throw super lightweight understable discs at her house or something. So with all the lightweight discs, drives her nuts. There you go.
Just.
Oh, by the way, Ezra's here. Everybody.
Yeah. Hi guys. Ezra.
person.
Hi guys. Ezra's here. But
Robinson.
yes. World championships are for chumps. But yeah. Back to what you were saying about the form back then. You know, get closer.
There it is.
I was thinking through my head, and this might be a bad analogy, but like, you know, the cavemen back in the day.
Yes. Okay.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
They had their brand new stone tires, right?
Wheels.
You know, their wheels,
Stone?
and they thought
Yep.
their wheels were the best ever because it was the newest thing they had, and so it's not right for Gannon here to have nice brand new rubber tires to then trash old stone tires.
Bars.
When did
Because, like, you know, that's how it evolves. Like, they had what was good back then for them, and they were great with it. I mean, I'm sure they got around pretty good. And now we get around really good, even better, on rubber tires.
really quick? I mean,
That's smart.
we're not talking about the 1970s disc golf. Like, we're not talking where they're throwing whammos around everywhere. Okay,
this
like,
is like-
we're talking 2004, 2005, the MSTGC.
Can
Correct
we
me
look
if I'm
up
wrong,
what
but that was
disc they
right
had?
around. I think like 2005 was the.
There's a
T-Bird,
way to look that
maybe?
up.
It's the 25-year anniversary for the T-Bird, Eagle, and Leopard.
When did like the
So
I'm gonna look
do
this
that
up.
math
later
back.
on. But
So 98 is
I'm curious.
around
Like,
then.
I'm pretty sure back then I'm sure there was Star
I'm looking.
Plastic,
I'm looking.
Champion Plastic. Like they
I'm
had.
not good at disc
You ready?
golf.
I'm just gonna read some from Innova because they were the big name then. Okay, Monster, Beast, Spider,
a beast.
Dragon,
Oh.
Archangel,
Stable.
Archangel,
Archangel.
I said it 3 times.
Archangel.
Firebird,
They had a Firebird,
Gator,
What?
Valkyrie,
And
which for a
Leopard,
while was the longest distance disc.
Eagle,
they did have Champion Plastic, like that came out
Yeah.
Wolf, T-Bird,
first.
Banshee, Rhino, Nova, Cheetah. Again, I'm going back way far now, Polecats and all that. But you heard all these first ones. They're like
These are
pretty
good
legit.
discs. We're not.
Also,
We're not saying they're playing with DX Leopards
If
around
you
these
gave-
courses. Like,
if you gave Gannon a
any one of
Firebird,
these players
just give him a Firebird only. Even just a Firebird only.
Yeah,
Would Gannon beat that 2004 MSDGC group?
yeah, I think he mops them.
But this, yeah. But why? That's the interesting question. The why part. Like, why are we so much better
now,
today?
All right, you also have to look at this. Like, Ken Climo's up here, and I know I can't really show it.
Yeah,
Ken
you are.
Climo's right here. Everyone else back in that era, every so often someone would climb up here if they beat Climo, but they never stayed up there. Like, Climo was
Nowhere
always
close to
up here.
I said nowhere close to him. He didn't win 9
No.
world championships in a row.
That's
or
what I mean.
8.
Like,
Oh my goodness.
that's what I
should
mean.
know
Is
this.
like he
in a row.
was the best athlete at that time in disc golf, far, far, far superior than everyone else. And then every so often, like Barry Schultz, I think has very unique and awesome form and made it work for the disc that he was throwing back then. Like Barry Schultz, there were players who contended with him.
Oh, Barry
But
is
Ezra-
a lot closer than anyone else, though. I don't
Yeah,
want to. I don't
I
want to
agree.
say Barry's in the pool of.
Ezra-
No,
Saying
I think you kind of have like Climo, you have Barry,
Like,
and
Barry
then you have
is
the up
clear
and coming
number 2.
players like you had the Felbergs,
Hold
kind
on.
of towards the end of Climo.
Pause.
Go ahead.
Your brother just called you out. He said that's the analogy he went with. Faceplant. There you go. So what do you have to say about
That's a
that?
great analogy. They're both round. I mean,
By the way, Ella Hansen's hanging out in studio. I'm sorry to throw her out there. She didn't want to be known that. But if you have any takes on this, Ella, you can just grab the microphone, whatever you want. You're free to do it. Oh, give her the. We can't. We can't hear you. Like we can hear you, but we can't hear you.
I said, I think they're right, but I wouldn't say it. But also,
Ooh.
like, it's
I
the
wouldn't
institutional knowledge. It's like how FPO is growing right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happened in MPO, and so like the depth of field is that's a real thing that happens in sports.
All right, Overthrow's the one who keeps bringing the debate here. And honestly, good takes. They said this. You have to look at when they learned their form, what discs did they have? So, like, they were learning disc golf with different discs. Then the Firebird comes out brand new. It's like, well, how do we throw this? So, anyways, that's another take.
Adjust your form for new discs.
We can't hear you.
However, what is this? Is this like? Is this if this is a GOAT debate? Then are we asking ourselves who was better in their prime, Climo or Paul?
2 different generations. Now.
Because then it's like if I don't know. I just feel like the GOAT has to be decided by
You can take me
was-
down, Ben.
Who was the best ever? Who's the best ever to play the game? Not who had the best resources.
The reason why we didn't
who
go
was
down
the
that
best
route
with their resources
is because we can't actually do that debate, and I don't want to do that debate here.
Okay.
But the debate about what you watched on MSDGC made you think that, and that's why this topic came up. It made you think that. Like, it seems so apparent that like we're so much better today. So I think it's 2 generational conversations. But final take, Gannon.
I was gonna say like about the whole thing about like they learned their form with like the tools they had. I mean, I can agree, but then also like as new stuff came out, I mean, I don't even know though, because it depends like when they started playing. If they started playing, 2 years before that, they probably still had. I mean, what did you just list? Like, I mean, Firebird, Beast, Valkyrie, and I think you can adapt your form to, like, I mean, I do that all the time for myself. Like, I've never been good at Heiser out of the hand, so like I've adapted that way, and now I can throw a Spike Heiser if I need to.
But when someone gave me a star max when I was first learning, like adapting my form didn't help me throw it farther. You know what I mean? So like I see both sides of it. I think let me see your pendulum swing form, Gannon. Okay, that's the whole.
I got a nasty Feldberg. All right, come on.
Gannon could probably do it. We'll see if we can do it in the backyard course. Okay, good. Unless anybody has burning, like I have to say something about that. We're moving on to another topic.
Do we have any more Flintstones references? We good?
Okay, here it is. Aaron Gossage was quoted, I think it was on Jomez coverage this year, as saying, I'm not getting the quote right probably, but Maple Hill is the worst course on tour. You guys have been playing it multiple times this week. Cole, Gannon, you also played my backyard course, so it might make Maple look really good. I don't know, or make my backyard look really good. But Ezra, you've played it a few times, maybe.
I have never played it.
Never. So you haven't even walked it?
No, sir.
Okay, so he hasn't even walked it. So now you're going to be either tainted or inspired by this conversation. What do you think, Cole, Gannon, that take? Like, we're open for it here. Like, what do you think?
Okay, I told you this earlier, Matt. I think there's 3 holes that I really don't like on that course.
What are
and
they?
I also do not like the walkouts at all. But 15 of the holes I think I love. And if the walkouts were a little bit better, I could definitely see it being higher on my list. But the 3 holes are hole 6, hole 10, and hole 18.
Okay. All right. Now,
2 of those absolutely.
I can absolutely agree with hole 10. I think is one. We're talking Maple Hill right now, right?
Yes.
For some odd reason in my head, I thought we were still in the backyard course.
This
I'm
is
like,
MVP.
Why are we even talking about this?
MVP Open.
Okay.
This is this week.
So hole 10, I think, is the most like boring hole 10 in all of disc golf right now. I
have
don't.
counterpoints, but I'll let you go on.
What's that?
I have counterpoints, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
I'm
I
just
said
saying,
this.
Thank
we
you.
need to
Thank
come
you,
back.
I
on.
set this segment up for Evan on purpose. I was going to have them bring a take, and I knew Evan would. Let's go.
I have even told like Steve Dodge that I hate the new hole 18. I think that is also a trash hole.
Yes, for like the new 18, as in like the last 4 years, that changed. Not the new OB.
Did you see the new OB?
Okay, I have not
It
seen
goes
the new OB
all the
yet,
way up to the corner.
but I hate the drive.
Hold,
I think the drive is trash.
Oh, yeah, you
Hole
don't like
6,
the T-pad of hole 18.
I'll say this. I actually really like hole 6. I think it's very tough, but I also think it's like
Counter take, Cole.
Yeah.
Why do you not like hole 6?
I don't like it because it's blind and the wall of trees right in front of the basket just makes it so unlucky and fair.
Do you try to turn before the V
hole
tree?
6?
No, I just try to throw it
You
dead
go
straight.
dead straight, okay.
But if you pure that shot, you're left with the 35, 40 footer. Like the best shot that I can throw dead straight is getting me an edge of circle 2 putt. There's no possible way to park that hole or even get super close.
I've
Wait,
parked
let
it
Gannon.
before,
Let
but-
Gannon talk.
Okay, you can
I'm not saying
park
you
it,
can park
but
it,
It
but
takes an
give it to Gannon.
extremely
See, I would
difficult
rather
shot.
hole 6 on every
Cole's a
single
hater 'cause
course
his
than hole
forehand's
10.
trash.
Hole 6.
What'd you say?
Cole has no forehand, and he knows it.
Okay, so Gannon, hole 6, good or bad? We don't need to like
Good,
break it down. Okay, good.
I have thrown
Thanks.
forehands that, I mean, I think I bullseyed at least one of my last 3 rounds I played there, and I think I've birdied it 2 of my last 3. So
Okay, so let's just take it. He said there was 3 holes. We don't need to break down each hole. I'll let Evan respond to the general conversation.
Move the basket. It's
Yeah.
a great hole.
I
Move
want
the
to-
basket. It's a great hole.
I just want to cut in really quick
Go ahead,
because
Nick.
a comment in the chat came up talking about like it's not just about the big distance, but I'm going back to our last conversation. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it.
Back.
We're talking about form. Go back and look. We were just talking about it 5 minutes ago. Look at their putting form.
Yeah.
Is atrocious compared to what putting form is nowadays, and you can't really blame all of the putter. I mean, they had AVRs, they had good putters back then. They weren't
still putt with the
trash,
putters that
but they're literally
then.
like like Gannon said earlier, they're 90 degrees facing the wrong way
If
and
you wanna
wondering why
see-
they're bad at putting.
All right, if we're continuing this
Very-
on,
If you want to
no,
see,
nope, we're done.
go into
Counterpoints.
YouTube, type 2004 MSDGC, and look at one of the rounds. I don't know. I don't remember which round it was, but you can see what we're talking about.
I'm glad that we can build off of past eras, and it's really cool to see the evolution of the sport.
Very cool.
I think hole 6 is a really tough, demanding hole that puts fear into players' eyes. I mean, the OB is real tough with that rock while going in. The green's really tough to reach. It's a hard hole, but it can be got. I think it's great. There's a lot of like kind of birdieable holes all in that stretch. And so I think it's a good one to kind of be like, yeah, here's some real good teeth. Hole 10, the castle hole going uphill. There's some really cool data that we got. I think Doug from Statmanda was doing it last year.
Shout out Doug.
Yeah, right, Doug? He was doing the speed gun on there, and that hole, without being like a big distance hole, as you see like hole 11, which is the big downhill one, speed off your drive is so important, and just seeing the direct correlation of scores compared to how fast you threw off the tee is really cool to see, and to get different skills be used. I mean, some courses you see distance being one of the only factors. Maple Hill, it's not quite as much, but seeing that on there and seeing a direct correlation is really cool to see on a hole. So I like that. I also got Ben peeking at me if Ben has anything interesting to say. Go ahead.
Statmando.
Okay, let's have good takes, Ben.
All right.
And then hole 18, Nick, I understand your thoughts on the tee pad. That one is a little tough because if it was in the old position, which is the current blue layout, I do think it would be too easy. I'm really excited for the OB that got implemented with the new bathrooms at the Sap House. They had to put in a leach field and kind of place for the bathrooms to go.
Can we say? You have one last.
I was just going to say the OB is a lot more in off the Sap House, so it's going to make you can't really lay up to the rock wall and have an easy approach in for par. You really got to lay up earlier, and you have to have a shot that goes under the green, or there's a really tight layup area that's a little tougher to hit.
No matter what,
I think that'll make it really interesting.
Even still though, where the drives are ending. Okay, so you made the second shot harder, but at the same time, can you still throw a putter even 200 feet up the fairway towards the drop zone area?
Yeah, there is. It's
right?
Probably a 15-foot wide peninsula to the drop zone area.
Yeah, it's pretty tiny.
Now, what about short of that? Like if I want to throw a 180-foot shot to the green, do I have a pretty open landing zone for my second shot? Like my layup shot.
Yeah, it's
so we're just gonna watch people. We're just gonna watch people's third shot getting onto the green be a little bit tougher than what it was in the past.
My guess is I think more people are going to have to go for it because they're a little bit more back, and you're going to see more swings. You're going to see more people going for it. You're going to see more OBs. I mean, maybe it's something that doesn't work out and it ends up being bad.
Do you want to put a side bet on it?
Let's put a side bet on this.
Right.
What, what? It's good or bad?
No. I want to know what the percentage of people now that are going to go for it.
With
And
the new OB.
I honestly don't know how we're going to track this, but I would love to know how many people went for it on their second shot versus laid up on their second shot.
Got to hire
That's something we did in the past, and I was really excited about. We won't get into it this year. I mean, maybe I don't know if we want to do average score. We might have to figure about this.
Honestly, we can look at. I guess no, you can't really.
We might have to figure out
one of the days that we're hanging out there. You and I will go to hole 18 and we'll watch a couple cards play.
Yeah, do the dollar bets.
We'll explain what happens on the next show.
Here's how I kind of want to. I don't want to wrap up the topic. I want to kind of direct it a little bit. So instead of talking about like, is this hole good? Is that hole good? Is this hole good? Is that? So
I want to know why Cole doesn't like 18.
Hold on. Not everybody knows hole 18. I know it's a famous course. A lot of people do. But like this conversation at some levels isn't relevant for everybody. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. As a course in and of itself, right? You're a touring player, Cole, Gannon, Ezra. You're going to have to keep an eye out on this course first time being there. Ella, like a first time player, 1, a touring player, 2, or an amateur. What is it about this course that would an amateur think this was a great course? Cole, do you think it changes based off of pro or not? Like touring pro or not? Do you think that opinion changes? Like you played in that World Championship event.
Yeah.
Like you played other layouts, other holes.
Oh, I definitely love the amateur layouts at this course.
So the course,
Absolutely.
So the conversation of the course, like the venue, are you saying that the venue's not great?
No, I'm not saying that the venue's not great. I'm saying that I don't like certain holes on the course that take
That
away
Gannon
from the
likes.
experience of me.
What do you mean the walkouts when you were saying that earlier?
Hole 12 to
wasn't-
13, Nick.
So
Big
the
hole
walk,
12 to 13.
so the walkouts.
Oh, okay.
Hole.
All right.
I'm gonna
So
say
the walking in between holes.
I'm gonna say hole 1 to 2 isn't great to start, and then hole 8 to 9 is brutal now because they changed that tee pad, and then you have like 10 to 11. Like that's terrible. Okay, that's probably more normal. 11 to 12, you're almost walking back mostly of
Half
hole
the fairway.
11.
Yeah.
And then hole 12 to 13, you're walking straight up a hill for like 300 feet. And then after 13, you walk straight back up a hill again to 14's tee pad. And then you still walk 200 feet, 250 feet to get to 15's tee pad.
And I asked you, Cole, how far should you have to walk today? And what did you say?
At the end of hole 16, you walk another 400
It's
feet
true.
to 17's tee
It's
pad.
true.
So I think the next tee pad honestly should be within probably 150 feet.
He changed it. He changed it.
Okay, so I don't.
What did I say? 100
You
feet?
said 100 feet earlier,
100
and I'm
feet?
like, that is
I'd
so
be
close.
okay with that too. I'd be okay with that too. I think 100
But here's
150
why.
feet would be normal.
This course was not designed in this modern age. And so to your point, it's not to say that it's not the best course. I could actually take that argument, say that Maple Hill is not the best course, but it was designed through evolution. We watched 2004 MSDGC like last night. And so to get to the point where the holes are longer, they would extend a basket placement and then, or they'd push a tee pad back. And what that does is you're not designing a course from scratch. And so that's where you're getting what you're calling your walkouts, right? So like, I'm not here to defend that. They are long. That's why it is what it is, the evolution of the sport.
So I'm not trying to hear. I'm not going to debate this right now. Maybe I'll do it later. But I do have more questions on it. I want to think about. Well, I'm going to use this example, but again, maybe not everyone knows exactly what I'm explaining here. But hole 8 to hole 9. It used to be hole 8. You have the 8 holes, tons of fans. It's packed. They're rowdy. Hole 9 that's maybe a little less than 100 feet, like 90 to 100 feet away from hole 8's basket.
walk.
You would rather have that where it's very close and you're now teeing off right next to a green where fans are getting excited. Or I'm also thinking about 17 to 18 where in my opinion, when I see that, it looks like a safety hazard, which I mean, thankfully it's not, and we don't hear things, but where a basket, when you're putting at a basket, you're staring at the next tee, and if you miss, you could land on that tee. So you would rather, like, if you had a choice of which one you'd rather have, a 300-foot walk or a basket right next to the tee pad very, very closely, would you rather have the very, very closely, like almost too close?
I don't necessarily love the 8 to 9 because like you can't control spectators and where they are. Like I don't think it, I feel like, well, okay, so I'll start with 17 to 18. I agree. That's probably not the best place to have a tee pad. I mean, that's like what, circle 2's edge from 17's basket, just deep. So, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, the upshot is short enough on 17 to where
yes,
you should.
That's what I was going to bring up.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't throw it that bad to get all the way back to 18's tee pad. But I definitely think that as far as hole 8 to 9 goes, like part of disc golf is playing with distractions, playing with loud people. I mean, that's what all disc golf is going to be. So I don't really know why we should technically change our tee pads just so that we don't have a distraction, especially when it's just spectators and people where they are allowed to be where they are, not like we're teeing off right next to the cars on the road. That is something that sure you can control that a little bit more because cars have to drive through there, but I think there's just the way people are on hole 8. You can't really control that,
right?
And hole 9 was honestly just fine the way it was.
So to your point about 100 feet or whatever it was, hole 17's basket to hole 18's tee pad currently is what you're saying you want, because that's what it is.
I'd say that maybe that's a little closer.
Okay.
I'd say
Too close.
You could go an extra 50 feet.
Think.
See, one of the things
You could go an extra 50 feet.
Okay.
One of the things that you also got to think of is what is the shot happening next? Like take hole, give me a second. Take hole 2, 3, like one's upshot. Someone could throw a very errant one shot on 1 and it could go near where the walking path is on 2. So like, I don't think that's a good walk. You were talking about 11's basket to 12.
6.
People's drives on hole 11 can end up by 12's tee pad. Like it's a very, very tight course for that reason. I know that's been a lot of complaints that people have had in the past. Hole 6's drive bad shots go right where hole 2's tee pad is. Like there are things like that.
Yeah.
And then the walking. Now, a lot of people are explaining like walks from courses like hole 12 at Eureka, the water tower hole to 13 is a long walk. Hole 3 to 4 at Fox Run is a long walk.
USDGC is the same thing to
Now,
17.
Yeah, 16 to 17 at
that's
USDGC.
brutal.
Now, having one or two of those on a course is not
that's
the end of the
fine.
world.
That's fine.
Giving, players a little bit of time, giving spectators time to move to the next spot, there's nothing bad about that. But if it is a constant thing of why the hell am I walking so far, then it's a pain in the butt.
That I definitely agree with that. I'm okay with 1 to 2 or maybe even 3 that just you need to get to another side of the course because that's just better flow for the rest of the entire course. But I definitely don't think it should be happening probably 6 times around.
I'm going to do a 1-sentence debate. I'll keep it short, which is unusual for me. I would rather have the best hole possible than
short walks.
I would rather have the best hole possible than having the easiest walk for players. So like I care about the shots and what's a good shot better than I do, Cole, I'm gonna say it, your feelings.
That's fair. Absolutely. No, I totally agree. I would rather have an incredible shot. Sure, if I have to make that walk to do an incredible shot, then yes. But I also think there could be ways like hole 12, for example, like that tee shot honestly is just probably not a very good tee shot for this course for what you could probably do otherwise with that. Maybe you just make it a really long par 3 and then it still has the difficulty of the hole, but then you eliminate another long walkout. I don't know. Maybe there's things you can adjust. Maybe there's other things you can't adjust.
That is one of the old holes that was on that course, but I know Gannon's been dying to speak on this.
I already kind of half forgot what I was gonna say, but like I'm not a fan of it when you make the walk longer and the hole gets even worse. So it's like for me, I don't like new hole 9. It's a really long walk. It's might be honestly my least favorite on the course. But I also thought old hole 9 was good. I enjoy having unique holes on the tour. There's a couple like very unique holes on a few courses on tour that I know has been in talks of getting taken away. Obviously like hole 9 here did get taken away. They obviously kind of kept the second part of the shot, but the new tee shot, it kind of did the hole, I think it's going to play kind of weird because I like the old hole because if you threw like kind of a bad drive, it really made you make a decision on whether you're going to go for the green or not if you're out of position. Now with the new tee shot, it's like Colt did like one of the best shots I have seen on the hole so far, actually the best shot, and he still basically has 0 look for birdie. And sometimes tee shots are made to where like a disc has kind of has like a hard time flying that way. It's definitely possible, but it makes it so much more low percentage. And then you see what happens, especially on par 4s that have dog legs where the corner is very tight. It happens a lot at Northwoods as well. Where if you don't get to the exact perfect landing zone, like all it is just a pitch up to the ideal landing zone. And I feel like that's not that exciting. Where like I'm a big fan of like if you're out of position on a par 4 that you have a hero shot. And so that's why when we bring in these like kind of 90-degree angle holes, it kind of takes away from that. And I think it's a little bit less exciting. And it can also kind of sometimes hurt the scoring spread because people aren't going for those bigger shots, those more rewarding shots because they don't even have an option to. So that's why like, yeah, on hole 9 when they added the longer walk and in my opinion, not as good as a hole. That kind of just, I don't know.
For sure. Now, to this point, Cole said he didn't like hole 6. Gannon said it's a fine hole. So I'm sure Gannon can also agree that his opinion only means as much as the next player's too. So Ezra sitting there and he hasn't seen the course. You're probably leaving right after the event next week, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, we might have to do a quick little interview post-tournament and see what your opinions are after having played it. So,
well, he can just win, and then that'll make it really easy.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Because now you've heard their opinions on it. So,
then who's the better Robinson?
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Do we have recency bias?
Isaac Robinson has never won
go full
a Disc
screen
Golf
on
Pro
them,
Tour
Ben, if you
silver
can.
event.
There you go. So, all right, let me ask this question now. This is actually kind of a perfect segue. You said silver event?
Isaac's never won a silver event. No.
So this was a question that I had teased out at the start of the show.
What?
Top.
What did I say?
top of the show, I teased out some of these topics, so we're here now. Are some silver events worth more than others? Points are points, right? Ella just talked about she felt like she should have won that one, but points are points. But I guess points set aside, are some silver events worth more than others? Is it just like, how are you making that determination? Is it purely the field, or is it like, no, the title?
The
Like,
basic
what is it?
answer is no. They're all the same. If
No.
you win a Silver Series event,
Which one
have
would you
won a
rather win,
Silver
though?
Series
Which
event.
silver event would you rather win, Ezra?
Do what? Sorry.
What silver event of the whole year would you rank as like, that's the one over all the others? Is there any like that stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely the 50th Jim Palmieri one.
There you go.
Because I'm actually serious, because I think it's the longest running tournament in the world.
Wow.
Continuously
Right.
running. yeah.
Continuously running.
Wow.
And you get like little ones like put up here and there, like the was that one, the one that
Innova
Gannon
Blue
won
Ridge
the
Championship?
Blue Ridge, which
Or the-
doesn't
or the-
matter.
Or the 41st annual Kansas City Wide Open. That's 9 worse than AFBO?
Yeah, that's
That's a joke. It was the 41st Kansas City Wide Open, and it was the 50th American Flying Disc
Yeah.
Open. All right, Gannon, let's hear it. Can we give the mic to Gannon?
All right, here are my stats on whether silver events are the same.
Move your phone away from the microphone.
Yeah,
though.
something with a phone is causing.
they
I don't know
interfere with
whose
each
it
other,
is.
yeah.
Is that good?
I don't know whose it is, but we keep hearing
talking.
buzzing.
Hello, is that good?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't know if it was you though.
Okay,
I
well,
think it's intern Ben.
No, it was 100%.
all right. So I'm just gonna read you the MPO field at the most recent Silver Series. We have Eagle at 1044. I'm just gonna go off ratings because it's somewhat accurate over a span of the year, especially because we're all on tour, so it's all accurate that way. Isaac at 1036, Alden at 1030. Then we have Evan Smith, Ty Love, and Evan Scott at 1021, 1023, and 1028. But they all didn't finish that well. But so I'm gonna go to my Blue Ridge win. It was Calvin Heimberg, Ricky Wysocki. Why is this music playing? Chris Dickerson, Kyle Klein, Matty O, Isaac Robinson, Kevin Jones, Nicolas Antola, James Conrad, Double G. So I can't even talk. This is like my pity party. But basically, I'm just saying it feels really unfair, especially with I feel like my race with Isaac right now. I mean, he basically just got handed, like 20 Disc Golf Pro Tour points, and now he has me by 25 points. And now that's just going to affect the rest of my life because he'll get
You made the choice not to go, though.
I have no passport.
You made the choice not to get a passport
now
this whole year.
Here's my thing. I have 2 silver wins and a second place, so I really couldn't really get any more points.
Oh,
so,
that's a good point.
Yeah, but you could have gone to Europe and gotten more points at a major because
If
now
you had a passport.
Yeah, and
If I had
now
a
you only
passport.
have your 2 worlds to do it. Sorry, 2 majors, excuse me, one of them being worlds. But I think points are super valuable that I think is a little bit understated. Juliana Korver, I believe, went purely out of her schedule to go to this so she could get more points. She jumped into a spot where she's currently in the Tour Championship cutoff. That's something that has been her goal all season. And by going, she got a lot of extra points. Isaac, I mean, maybe it was his same reason as well. He gets more points and he's a little bit more in second place now. And so I think it's super valuable. Ella Hansen got points. She got 50 Pro Tour points. And there's also the Disc Golf Pro Tour United Series where the top 3 get a payout. And Ella's firmly in second now. She has a 50-point lead over Holland Hanley on statmando.com, actually. Nice. Missy is winning. She's at 377.25 points. Ella Hansen, you're at 347.0. Holland Hanley's at 297.75. Krishna Tatar is down in 18th. She, of course, only has played 1 United Series event and won it and got 150 points.
Being the world champion.
But do want to share that. It's always fun to try to pick out the outliers.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Everyone looks at me to continue the show because that's what I do.
You said you had all the topics.
Yeah, no, I got stumbled because someone in the chat is trying to razz me, and I don't usually get razzed by it. But there you go.
We have the Open at Belton where in the past, it was right after Waco, and every single player on the tour played Belton, but it was still a Silver Series.
Yeah.
But it was an Elite Series field, almost exactly. I mean, I don't even know if any people's ever skipped Belton. I remember in 2022 last year. So
Yeah, I agree.
A
on
lot of people. That was last year. I remember that being one of the highest.
Yeah, that Paul
fields.
Macbeth, yeah, Ricky Wysocki battle was very cool there. I mean, there's been a lot of other good silver events, and I think some stand out more than others. Like, I think if you polled, your average pro, like, would they rather win, like, not even points or not even what the field was there? Would you rather win the Beaver State Fling compared to, just another silver event? And I think a lot would want to win that event, being at a famous course that a lot of people love at Mile of Buciver. I think there's a lot of other situations like that. Some people might like a hometown win. I mean, I think to Allie Smith, she won Kansas City Wide Open.
Yeah.
She probably liked that one a lot better than winning in California or Texas if there was a silver event in California, which there's not. That was a bad one using an example, but I think those can matter a lot to people. And so different events can mean different things as far as hometown points, strength of fields, all these different things.
Look, when Ella is 85 years old and telling her, potential grandchildren that she has one day about this win, she's just going to say that she won a Silver Series event. She's not going to say, "Oh, there was only 7 people at it."
Well, yeah, and hopefully
she might
going to tell people that
she might
kicked ass at that event. She
can talk about how she won an elite event before Holland Hanley
Exactly.
and won 10 majors.
All I have to say is the Pro Tour needs to change the points so that it's like depends on how many people are in the field and all that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna leave. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye, Ella.
That's a good note to end on.
She's actually out.
I
So
agree.
there-
Yeah, if there's not enough people in the field, just make it a B tier instead.
So a lot of hot takes coming in
okay,
here.
so now
it's hot down
that's-
here. I think it's adding to it. We've
That's
probably
tough
gone past
because
80 degrees.
they schedule most of these events prior to the season, or some of them during the season if they have to make up something. But I like the idea of changing up the points.
I don't. I'm going to say that.
Ooh,
I think that's a terrible idea.
Why didn't you say that when Ella was here, huh? You didn't want to get into a fight.
I didn't want to say it to her face. No, I guess I would have. It would have been all in good fun.
Yeah.
But no, I think it'd make it more complicated. I mean, people already don't like how complicated disc golf pro tour points is, which I don't think they're that complicated, but I get
you're a
I
stat
look at them
guy.
a lot more.
Literally,
makes
you are
more
a
sense to
stat
me.
man, though.
Yes. And I thanks. We got bottles flying everywhere here. I think it makes more sense. I mean, I'm sure people could say, maybe we don't want an event before or after Worlds. I'll let people argue that as much as they want. But I think if there's a silver event, whether people show up or not, I think it should be worth the same as all the other silver events. It should be planned ahead of time. I don't think just because people drop, people get injured, that it means you get less points. I feel like that's a bad precedent to set. I wouldn't like to see that.
I'll also say this: the scheduling of it was very tough, I think, personally. I mean, the last month of disc golf has been Deglo, week off, Worlds, Discmania Open, MVP Open, US Women's, Throw Pink, and then finale, all in a pretty solid, especially in the FPO division
It's been
with
a
the
grind.
US Women's and the Throw Pink going, I think, also back to back. It is a grind right now for these players. And why a lot of them probably didn't go up to Canada is 14-hour drive from Vermont, 10.5-hour drive back here. That's a lot for a small field where, maybe if there was 30 or 40 people, or maybe if, more players in the MPO division went to it, then I think more people sign up for it. But scheduling wise, it was scheduled very, I don't want to say poorly because it is what it is, but it was scheduled unfortunately.
There's clearly
if it's an elite series, I bet you get probably at least 7 or 8 of the top 10 in the tour standings up there. Because
I think you get all the people that are in 35th to 40th as well, because they're trying to get some extra points.
Yeah, it's silver that you only count your top 3. And so like Gannon was saying, I mean, not everyone's won 2 silvers and had other good finishes, but a lot of people feel like they can't earn as many points as they want because they have 3 good enough finishes. So I understand more reason why to not go.
I think those people trying to, who maybe haven't done well at Silver Series in the past, if anything, the limited coverage that I was able to watch of this tournament, it didn't look like a massive bomber course. It didn't look like it was the hardest course that we've seen on tour. This could have been a great opportunity for a couple of those people to really shine. I mean, we had players like Andrew Fish is an incredible disc golfer, but not as much on the tour right now. It's his first year of full-time touring, but this was a tournament that Andrew Fish ended up doing well at. I think at least after round 2, he was in 2nd or 3rd place.
Yeah, I think he finished pretty well too.
Yeah, so you have players like that who potentially need those points, and this would have been perfect for them. But then you also have the top players who, they want to pick up another win because maybe it's a commemorative disc that they're getting out of it. Eagle might get, a new cloud breaker because he won a silver event. Who knows? But that's a lot of these
Great
players
point.
like Ella might get, a new commemorative disc because of this win. So not only did she win, $1,700 to $2,000, whatever it was, but she'll also make money off of the commemorative disc that is coming out. So,
Yep.
Okay.
No, that's good.
Can we wrap it up there? So we just got news that we're giving away another pair of USDGC tickets, VIP.
Sick.
So what we're going to do is ask somebody on the panel over there to come up with something that has a number or an answer related to it that people can guess, and we'll open up the phone calls again to give this away. In fact, while we're doing that, let me pull out of here. There you go. You can see on screen if you're watching live. Look at these cool passes. VIP, USDGC. This is the VIP pass. You'll get a pair of these. You can check it out and get your tickets at usdgc.com/ I think it's tickets. Let me double check. I put it in the details of the show. Yes, usdgc.com/tickets. Does anybody on the panel have a number or a question that somebody could try to call in and answer? And you could text me the answer so I can confirm or deny. Anybody on the panel? What do you got? Anything? This is on the spot. USDGC VIP tickets.
I don't know who has the most Elite Series wins on the Pro Tour.
Do we know the answer to that?
On just Disc Golf Pro Tour events is what you want to know. MPO, FPO,
including Silver Series.
Ben, can you pull the call up?
You want all Elite and Silver. I'm guessing including the Tour Championship, but not including majors and not including National Tour.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me the answer. The phone calls are opening up.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to give me under a minute, and I can pull it up.
Okay.
So not including majors, but
do we
Silver Series and Elite Series? Do you have something?
Wait, do
Yeah.
NTs don't count?
Talking to the microphone if you can.
Just while we're waiting for him to look up the actual question, a little side question could be, how many strokes did I beat Gannon by in the last round of DDO when we were playing together?
Is that better?
Well, people could look it up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but super fast. They're on the call right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, do we want
strokes did
MPO or
Ezra
FPO?
beat me
Okay,
by?
we have a live caller lined up.
In the
Wait, so
final-
which question are we gonna do now? Because
Hold on. The caller's calling in. First of all, what question are
Kristen
you
Guitar.
answering for? Because it's changed a few times. So what question are you trying to answer? Oh, you got to shut off your YouTube because you're hearing it delayed.
can you hear us? You're live on the Nick and Matt show.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So what
I
question
was
are you
answering
answering?
The most Elite Series wins, DGPT.
Okay, Evan, did you get anything lined up for this or not?
I have the most Disc Golf Pro Tour and Silver wins of all time. MPO or FPO? We got to choose
Who it
which
is?
one.
Who's done the most?
Oh,
you're
well,
saying?
who?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be a
Kristen
number.
Tatar.
She's saying Kristen Tatar.
Kristen Tatar
Oh,
does not
I
have
thought
the
it was gonna be
most
player.
Disc Golf Pro Tour wins of
Okay.
Elite or Silver.
Kristen
No, that is
Tatar is
not
not
it.
the answer.
We apologize.
Wow, thank you
for
very
calling
much.
in, though.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, let's get another one here. All right.
All right, so that's the question we're going with. So everyone in the chat,
And the phone call
Sorry.
that we just answered.
yeah, the phone call that we just answered, we are doing it to where who has the most Elite Series and Silver Series wins combined on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. You can
Only.
answer in the MPO division or the FPO division.
Sure. So that
Okay,
means there's
here you
two
go.
possible
You're on the
answers.
call. If
Go
you're
for
hearing
it.
us in your phone, you're live.
All right, I'll go with Paul Macbeth.
Paul Macbeth does not have the most Disc Golf Pro Tour wins in Elite and Silver
No
events.
go for Paul Macbeth, but thank you so much for calling in.
If we included national tours and majors, that would be correct. But for Disc Golf Pro Tour only, it is not correct.
All right, we just answered another phone call. What is your answer?
Paul Macbeth does not.
You are live on the Nick and Matt show. What is your answer to the question?
Ricky Wysocki.
Ricky Wysocki.
Ricky Wysocki has the most MPO Disc Golf Pro Tour
Ding, ding,
wins.
ding, ding, ding. Is this for
Elite,
two passes or
Silver,
one
and
pass?
This is a
Tour
two. This is a
Championship.
pair.
What's your name and where are you from?
Jason Porter, and I'm from Rock Hill.
Oh, that's perfect. Jason
Come
Porter
on.
from Rock
He'll be
Hill.
there.
You just
What are
won
the
2
chances?
VIP passes to the USDGC this year, and we are going to get you all hooked up with that. Matt, I'm going to let you take it away. How can he get these tickets?
I'm actually texting him right now. He's been in contact with us before over a few things like this. He says, this is previous text back in June 12th. It says, I just want to say Gannon Burr. That was June 12th. So there you go.
Nice.
Gannon Bird is in studio. If you're a fan of Gannon Bird, do you have any questions you want to ask him specifically? Not putting you on the spot.
Not really.
Okay,
he said, no, not really.
I love it.
Dang.
He grabbed the microphone and everything.
No. USDGC winner right there, though.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to repeat?
No.
I would love to see that.
Okay.
He said he would love to see you repeat.
Look at that.
Hey, at least he's that's a true fan right there.
Yeah, there you go. No questions for you, but wants to see the repeat.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Well,
Okay.
Jason, thank you so much. We very much appreciate it. And thank you for tuning into the show.
Absolutely. We're going to stay in contact. I'll send you, if this phone number is good, I'm going to send it over to the event planners there and they'll get you the passes.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Yep,
Have a good
thank you.
evening. Bye. Dude, people keep calling in. I'm going to shut
more
it down here
calls.
soon. Okay. Perfect. All right. So moving into the last little outro portion here. Any projection? You guys have been playing in the rain quite a bit in practice, and Ezra, you've never played here. So let me ask Ezra first. Based off of how horrible a review you heard tonight from Cole, are you excited to play Maple Hill?
I'm very excited. I like playing courses that people hate. So it should be fun.
Yes. Goals.
I do not hate Maple Hill. I do not hate Maple Hill. I enjoy Maple Hill.
Holes of dad.
I do not enjoy the walkouts, but if we need them in order to have an incredible course on the Disc Golf Pro Tour and some good holes, then I'm okay with it. And obviously the walkout should not be the defining factor of the actual holes on the course. So that is the walkouts, I think, was blown out of proportion, but I also do believe I still have a strong take on hole 18 if you would let me take it.
Great. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Wrap it out with your strong take. I'll play some sad music as you talk.
Okay, I do not like hole 18 because of the lowered tee pad. The rise and late flip is just not okay. So I'm just saying hole 18 is probably one of the worst hole 18s we have on tour now that they've changed it. But the rest of the course is solid. It'll be great for a playoff event this year. I'm looking forward to playing it. But yeah, hole 18 is not ideal. I also do not love the green. I think the green is kind of gimmicky.
Okay, I'm not going to agree with Cole on that one, but the tee shot,
It's
absolutely.
twisting the dagger into the hearts
It's all
of
good.
Maple Hill fans. Me, myself included. I was about to say me.
Sorry, not sorry.
I guess that makes sense too.
Nobody
Yeah.
asked for an autograph from Cole this week.
Dang.
So as I said, Cole hates MVP.
Dang.
Hey,
And
Matt, I have points from Worlds if we wanted to go over that. 'Cause
Oh,
I was
yeah.
I was a
As a
We have our pop,
closeout.
lock, and
As a
drop.
half
closeout.
in, yeah.
By the way, we're dropping drop. We won't do that anymore.
Oh, we're soft.
Yeah.
You can always
the
do it
drop
every
is
week
the
if
best
you want.
part, man.
Real talk, I
too
don't have it in
much.
front of me, but I won.
Oh.
I won drop by a mile. It
Did
wasn't
you?
even close.
So
it was like
I have a
100
question,
points.
and this will be asking the touring professionals. For our show, we did pop, lock, and drop to where it was literally who do we think's going to pop off, who are we locking in to win the tournament, and then who do we think's going to suck that week? Realistically, like who's going to have a
Like,
bad
do
week?
worse than
Isaac
their
Robinson.
average.
And that's
Do worse
not
than
at
their
all how we
average.
worded it. It was literally who's going to do worse than their average,
Yes.
like the worst to their average. So
We're kind here. Or
now
try
let's
to
say
be.
now let's say pop off is Cole Redallen. My lock to win the event is Ezra Robinson, and then my dude to just not play well at this event is Gannon Burr. Are you taking offense to that in the sense of like, yo, screw Nick Carl, he's trash? Like, are you taking offense to it if I said, yeah, I just don't think this is Gannon's week?
No.
Okay, see, I don't think we should
No.
drop that.
Yeah, I mean my putting is at an all-time low right now. So, I used to never think that was gonna be an issue for me, but it's really biting me in the butt right now. So I actually agree with you on this.
All right, well, I know
You know
my
what?
drop for this week. I'm just kidding.
You know what that means? Like, I'm just thinking about Gannon Burr missing cash at DDO. Game's not good. What happens the very next week?
He won a 2-round event.
Oh, was it really 2 rounds?
Wasn't
What?
Des Moines 2 rounds?
Oh, we got it.
We finished the round.
Oh, that's
No, he didn't.
no. It was just 2 rounds, wasn't it?
No, it was 2 rounds, which made it harder because there were
Yeah,
more
that's
people,
why he has the highest cash per
there were
throw.
more people in contention.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the
Wow,
final
this season's
round.
gone by
It was
fast.
harder.
Yeah, he
harder
missed
to win.
cash and then
But-
won a 2-rounder, dude. That's like a B tier.
I'm not going to belittle the 2-rounder parts. I'm going to
Now
say,
we're gonna fight.
I'm going to say that Gannon Burr followed up a poor performance at DDO with a very good performance with a win at Des Moines.
Yeah.
So if you're not feeling the best, Gannon, I will still take you by next weekend.
Thank you.
That's the faith I
At
have.
least I have one friend in this room.
Yeah, Gannon, you have a lot of people rooting for you.
with a great last putt?
I did. Flushed up in
Yeah, that was really, really clutch.
All right.
Game felt terrible that week, too.
I'm going to move on to the points.
Gannon, have you ever said your game has felt good
Yeah.
when you won USCGC?
My game felt good last year at Green Mountain MVP and USCGC and Pro Tour Finals. So my last 4 events last year felt really good. I actually haven't had a week where everything is super dialed. It kind of just feels like I'm making it work instead of it feels more natural. That's kind of what I've had to say. I
Gotcha.
guess.
Wow. Can I just say what an episode? We packed the house last year and it was a lot. Very cool. Some people absolutely loved it. Some were like, you need to give everybody a microphone. And then I was like, that'd be pure chaos. I think tonight was awesome having Ella in studio after her first Disc Golf Pro Tour win. Cole, you get the closing thoughts here because you won. We didn't start the show off with this, but like you won the backyard barbecue first iteration ever. What did it take to win that? I mean, the field wasn't that weak.
No, not at all. I mean,
Field in Canada.
Did you say weaker than Canada?
No, better.
Yeah, I think it was.
Better than Canada.
I think it was.
you have. I mean, you have some heavy hitters. 6th place finisher at Worlds, Gannon. Just sometimes you just gotta pretend like you're going up against an amateur, and sometimes that makes it easier. So, no, I think it was super fun, and I was really kicking myself in the first 18 holes, and then somehow I found my putting and absolutely obliterated the putting track. And then, it was good to find the game in that final 6 holes when it was thrown on me that I actually didn't have a 1-stroke lead going into there. I was actually pretty taken back by that, so I missed the first hole and then birdied out to win with a nice little 35-footer on the last hole. But
how were the walkouts on this course?
The walkouts were very, very nice. I think all of them were within 100 feet or so, so that was definitely very helpful.
What do you think about the bbackups, Cole? What do you got to say about the backups?
The backups, it was part of the event. It's how you mentally prepare for the next shot, and it's how you move forward. And Gannon, thanks for trying, dude. I know you really wanted that title as well, but
the baskets were rude.
The back and we can go on and on about the baskets, but at the end of the day, you got to adjust to your surroundings and the equipment that you're playing on in order to win a tournament. And I feel like that's what I did better than anybody else.
Just adjust to the course and MVP. Walk better.
I plan on it.
All right, so you won. We're going to try to do it again, and I think it'd be great. Everyone who was invited to that will be re-invited, first right or refusal. So I don't know, Cole, if you'll be back, but if you want to try to defend it, we'll do it again.
Oh, yeah, and I have a Glitch World Championship to defend next year as well, so I'm feeling pretty good this week. I did too.
All right, can I just
DGA.
MVP.
I just want my flowers. I got 2nd place in MA1 for the Glitch World Championship. Thank you. I got obliterated by a 12-year-old, but I came in 2nd.
Yeah, not just a 12-year-old.
And then close out the points, Evan, and we'll start the music when you're getting close.
Yeah, all right. We'll cover the lock points next week, exactly how it breaks down, but pretty much, the better they play, the better points you get. If they finish bad, you get negative. Matt, you take down the lock for the first time we do it with 25 points, thanks to your Calvin Heimberg top 5 and a Kristen Tatar win. Nick and I also picked Kristen Tatar, so we got points there, but we didn't get any on the MPO side. I picked Ricky Wysocki. Nick picked Paul Macbeth, who both finished just outside the top 10, so we didn't get any negative. Ben, you got 10 points for your Missy Gannon pick, who finished 2nd, but unfortunately didn't win to Kristen Tatar, and you also picked Ricky Wysocki alongside me. And then over to the pop points. We'll bring it in season totals pretty shortly because we're getting up there now. But in last place this week, we have Ben at negative 89.96 points. He picked Macy Villa-Diaz and Tristan Tanner. Macy Villa-Diaz did play better than her average, getting him 4.5-ish points, but Tristan Tanner unfortunately finished 145th, lost a lot of points there. In 3rd place, we have Nick with negative 31.7 points. Picked Ezra Robinson and Alexis Mandujano.
You failed me.
Actually, no, I got it right.
Ezra.
Alexis. Yeah, Ezra.
I think Alexis failed me.
Yeah, Alexis got you negative 34 points. Ezra finished 15th, 2 better than his average. You were the only one to pick an MPO player to go positive.
Let's go,
but
dude.
Wasn't enough to get you to that win in the pop picks. Comes down to me and Matt.
Oh,
and the winner was me once again. Once again. Evelina Salonen carried me to victory. She got me 14 points by finishing in 4th, way above her average. I picked Jason Hebenheimer, who unfortunately got a 66th place. He was top 30 all weekend and would have got me a lot of points, but he was negative 24. Matt picked Joel Freeman and Holly Finley, who both finished below their average, but not by too much, so you were still under negative 20 points.
Yeah, how did Matt beat me and both of his players got negatives? It's not negative by a lot.
It's not negative by a lot, and that's all you need.
That makes sense.
Oh man, we got MVP Open, but we are not prepared for pop picks, so I guess we'll have to skip MVP Open. We'll bring it back for U.S. Women's.
Yeah, sounds good. Nick.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the Nick and Nat Show. I want to thank all the guys sitting over on the couch for hanging out with us on this wonderful Monday night. I am going to go to kind of a more serious note for a second, but today is 9/11. Let's never forget what happened on this date many, many years ago. And let's try to rally together as America. Think about the day after that event happening. Everything, you know, I say it every single week. Tell someone you love them. You never know when someone's going to be gone from your life. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Tell someone you love them this week. Comment, like, subscribe, all those good things to our videos. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Shout out to everyone playing MVP and good luck.
I'm doing my picks. We don't have to do drops, but Gannon Burr for the win and Kristen Tatar.
Simon Lazat, Kristen Tatar.
Simon Lazat, Kristen.
Man,
What do you got?
Nowhere near.
You have to say it.
I can't even think of players right. I'll go Cole.
Okay, Cole and who for FPL?
Come on, Cole. You hate the course. Let's
Kristen.
Ezra. My pick is Ezra Robinson and Ella Hansen.
All right, cool. We got the picks. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Evan, you're cool. Ben, you're cool. I have to look over and see who's there. Yeah, Cole, Gannon, Ezra, Nick. This is a lot in studio. Ella,
And
thanks
Ezra's
for coming on. Oh, and Ezra's wife? I didn't know she was there. Awesome.
She's
Thanks. Ezra's wife, you're cool too. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
The Nick and Matt Show, a disc golf podcast designed for you, the disc golfer. Find the Nick and Matt Show on your favorite podcast platforms or join the conversation live on YouTube.